The most chaste spouse, Joseph, full of interior joy at the words of his heavenly spouse, answered her, "My mistress, in making known to me thy chaste and welcome sentiments, thou hast penetrated and dilated my heart. I have not opened my thoughts to thee before knowing thy own. I also acknowledge myself under greater obligation to the Lord of creation than other men, for very early he has called me by his true enlightenment to love him with an upright heart. And I desire thee to know, lady, that at the age of 12 years I also made a promise to serve the Most High in perpetual chastity. On this account I now gladly ratify this vow in order not to impede thy own. In the presence of his majesty, I promise to aid thee as far as in me lies in serving him and loving him according to thy full desires. I will be, with the divine grace, thy most faithful servant and companion, and I pray thee accept my chaste love and hold me as thy brother, without ever entertaining any other kind of love outside the one which thou owest to God, and after God to me." In this conversation, the Most High confirmed anew the virtue of chastity in the heart of Saint Joseph, and the pure and holy love due to his most holy spouse Mary. This love the saint already had in an eminent degree, and the lady herself augmented it sweetly, dilating his heart by her most prudent discourse. By divine operation, the two most holy and chaste spouses felt an incomparable joy and consolation. The heavenly princess, as one who is the mistress of all virtues, and who in all things pursued the highest perfection of all virtues, lovingly corresponded to the desires of Saint Joseph. The Most High also gave to Saint Joseph new purity and complete command over his natural inclinations, so that without hindrance or any trace of sensual desires, but with admirable and new grace, he might serve his spouse Mary, and in her execute his will and pleasure. They immediately set about dividing the property inherited from St. Joachim and Anne, the parents of the Most Holy Virgin. One part they offered to the temple, where she had stayed, another they destined for the poor, and the third was left in the hands of the holy spouse Saint Joseph, to be disposed of according to his judgment. Our Queen reserved for herself only the privilege of serving him and of attending to the household duties. For from intercourse with outsiders and from the management of property, buying or selling, the most prudent virgin always kept aloof, as I will mention farther on. In his former life, Saint Joseph had learnt the trade of carpentering as being a respectable and proper way of earning the sustenance in life. He was poor in earthly possessions, as I have said above. He therefore asked his most holy spouse whether it was agreeable to her that he should exercise his trade in order to be able to serve her and to gain something for distribution among the poor, since it was necessary to do some work and not to remain idle. The most prudent virgin approved of this resolve, saying that the Lord did not wish them to be rich, but poor and lovers of the poor, desirous of helping them in as far as their means would allow. Then arose between the two spouses a holy contest, who should obey the other as superior. But she, who among the humble was the most humble, won in this contest of humility, for as the man is the head of the family, she would not permit this natural order to be inverted. She desired in all things to obey her spouse, Saint Joseph, asking him solely for permission to help the poor, which the saint gladly gave. As Saint Joseph, during these days by divine enlightenment, learnt to know more and more the qualities of his spouse Mary, her rare prudence, humility, purity, and all her other virtues exceeding by far his thoughts and estimates, he was seized with ever new admiration and great joy of spirit, continued to praise and thank the Lord again and again for having given him a companion and spouse so far above his merits. and in order that this work of the Most High might be entirely perfect, for it was the beginning of the greatest, which he was to execute by his omnipotence. He ordained that the Princess of Heaven, by her mere presence and intercourse, should infuse into the heart of her spouse a holy fear and reverence greater than words could ever suffice to describe. This effect was wrought upon Saint Joseph by an effulgence or reflection of the divine light, which shone from the face of our Queen, and which was mingled with an ineffable and always visible majesty. So much the more was this due to her than to Moses descending from the mountain, as her intercourse and conversation with God had been more extended and intimate.